Hi class. In this video, you're going to learn how to write a conclusion. And so this ends the series of how to write a basic essay. If you've not watched the first two videos about the introduction and body paragraphs, I'll put the links in the description so you can watch those two videos first and then come to the end here to see how to write a conclusion. All right, so as always, we have Louis back there taking a little nap, but he's going to be helping me out to teach you how to write a conclusion. All right, so particularly, what does a conclusion do, right? Most of us think that it just synthesizes and recaps, but you do want to add a little bit more because this is the time where you show the reader that your work has importance. What's the impact of your work from what you've been arguing or what you've brought up from the points in your body paragraphs, right? So we do want to have some kind of synthesis of the points. We can go back and look at our thesis, which is our roadmap, and just dig those out and have the synthesis come out. Then towards the middle, you want to highlight the importance of your work. So why is it important about what you wrote, right? What significant new ideas do you bring up? Imagine that you're in a conversation with the other scholars or sources that you bring up in your text. What are you saying new about a certain topic or a text or a novel or a music video, right? And then finally, what do you want the readers to do? What do you want them to think? Do you want them to donate, persuade, take action, enact a proposal, right? These are the three sections that we want to think about when we're writing our conclusion. All right, what shouldn't you do? Well, definitely don't say in conclusion or in summary. Why? Because just visually looking at a conclusion, we should be able to understand this is the end of the essay. We've come to the end, right? So you don't want to add that cliche in there because it just sounds repetitive and nothing really creative comes out of that. Don't introduce new ideas or evidence. If we remember the body paragraph video, we'll remember that we noted if you bring up a fact, a quote, really you should be explaining that and put it into context for the reader to prove your point, right? So bringing up a fact at the very end or some new evidence wouldn't really be helpful. Finally, you don't want to just finish out the essay and just say, okay, I've come to the conclusion, let me recap my points and I'm done. That's a fatal error because you really want to take this opportunity to show the importance of your work to the reader. Because as a writer, your work isn't in a vacuum. It has some kind of meaning. So therefore, you want to really tell the reader what was the importance of your work. What are you bringing new to the table? All right, in order to do this, you can answer these three questions. On a separate sheet of paper, you can outline this, and this might be helpful too to brainstorm before you write. Question 1, what are your main points? Again, look back at the roadmap or your thesis and just dig them out of there. Pretty simple. And then you want to just recap those in a different way. 2, what does your essay make visible about X? So X could be a topic that you're analyzing, or a novel, or it could be a music video, or it could be a certain kind of controversy or current event. What are you making visible that other scholars or critics have not said yet or shown yet, right? That's really what you want to bring out in the second part of your conclusion. And then in the third, why is this visibility important to society and readers? In other words, what's the impact? What should we now do? What should we now see? What should we now act upon? What should we pay for? What should we vote for, right? This is what you want to really hype up because this is your last chance to show the reader that your writing matters. A good way to remember all this is this little flow chart, right? So the first third, you're going to synthesize. What were your main points? Write them in a different form. Remind the reader what they just read. The middle, significance. What is important? What are you making visible, right? What hasn't anyone else talked about that your essay is helping bring out? And then finally, what's the result? What do you want them to do? To vote, to promote, to advocate? That's up to you, but you want to make sure that you end with that kind of result. All right. Now, if you've watched the other videos in this series, which was the introduction and the body paragraph videos, this will also be going along with that. By that I mean we're going to be using Dr. Christopher Bell's TED Talk, Bring on the Female Superheroes, as our sample text. If you'd like to watch it, I'll put that link in the description as well. Highly recommend it. But let's pretend that we're writing a conclusion for a rhetorical analysis of this essay, right? In the top third, you'll see, in the top section, you'll see what I mean by the recap. So, Dr. Bell's TED Talk uncovers how young women are negatively affected when they are unable to see themselves as superheroes. His use of statistics and an emotional anecdote persuades his audience that society must resolve this inequity. All right, so now this first part here it gives us the recap, right? If we didn't read any of the essay, we should at least know what it's about from this top third. Notice that the writer here talks as well about what is the main points, right? Use of statistics and an emotional anecdote. So that helps us go back to our thesis and tell the reader, hey, these are the main points that I brought up. Now in the middle there, by analyzing Dr. Bell's presentation, we can now see that even toys affect the way children develop self-image and esteem. All right, now what we're trying to tell the reader is what we've made visible to them, right? We're trying to tell them what did no one talk about that we're trying to bring out in our essay. And so that's noted here. And then finally, we're going to the result, right? This information should drive us to advocate for more diverse toy offerings so all children can see themselves as heroes. All right. Simply put, we're just asking people to be more vocal about diversity in toy offerings. But of course, you might have something of a grander idea of what your audience should do, or you might have a direct number of steps you want them to do. That's fine too. But as I noted before, this is just one sample in 3 easy steps how to write a conclusion, and keeping it beyond just recapping your points, but actually drawing out the importance. That's really what you want to do, because that will engage your readers and remind them why your work is important, why it should be persuasive, or perhaps why your argument is valid, right? Okay, so I hope that clarifies how to write a conclusion, and I hope that helps you understand the writing process as 3 major sections, right? If you didn't see those first 2 videos, the links are in the description. You can watch the introduction and body paragraph videos, and I hope that clarifies it for you, right? So good luck, and I'll see you all in the next video.